Okay, how
of this conversation is to answer the question.
sorry. Yeah, hi everybody, it's Sharon here, and this time I want to do the shadowing technique about this video is about this guy. He's really talented. He made a lot of prototypes of our device, our system. You know that animation is really fluid, and he designed for Netflix and uh Airbnb and yeah, the browser company as well. Yeah, he made a lot of fluid animations, and I think now the design engineer is very popular and role for at the technology company. Yes, I want to know about him. Yeah, just want to learn something from him. Okay, let's do it without further.
What makes
What
software
makes the
feel
software
great?
feel great?
John's going to share
Now
about
I'm
his
sure
experience
about his experience of
redesigning the
redesigning
iOS
the
app for
iOS app
Netflix
for
and talk a
Netflix.
little bit about what makes his
Talk a little bit about what
role
makes
at
his role at
Airbnb so
Airbnb
unique,
so
and he
unique,
even
and
doubles
he
my
even doubles my
understanding of shaders
understanding of
in this
shaders in
conversation.
this conversation.
But
Yeah, shaders. I'm currently learning shaders.
first, I asked
But
him to
first,
tell us
asked him to
what it
tell
was
us
like
what it was
building
like
the
building
download
the
animation
download
for the
animation
Arc browser.
for the
I was working
Arc browser.
with Dustin Senos.
I was working with
Who's the head of
Dustin Sanos. Okay, so let's see who is Dustin here. Dustin with let's check out who's Dustin. Who's Dustin? Dustin. Yeah. Let's see. Sanos designer. Okay, let's see. Yeah, let's check out him first. I'm so curious about the design stuff. Okay, so yeah, let's check out his website. Okay. Oh, he's had this. Okay, I'm Dustin. Hey, welcome to the person. I worked in tech industry for nearly 2 decades. Oh my gosh, John back curious about how things work currently. I'm a head design at I'm at the head design at a browser company of New York. We're building a better. Oh, you did a great job. Okay, it's okay. Better browser to make your time on the internet more enjoyable. Want to amount to be first try to Arc. Leave your email with us. Okay, before the browser company, I founded Small Animal Studios, a digital product studio period at night. Okay, so okay, it's not Mac. Okay, I also spent the time as a software engineer at Disney, leading a team that built the game engine for Club Penguin. Okay, so delivery design for warehouse with the people platform to increase the quality of some petitions. Okay. So lead the product and design for IFTT. Okay, I know this one. Yeah. I think I know it's a familiar there. Okay, so write our code for Facebook on there. Using this blanket product. It's a secret. I think it's exclusive. Oh yeah, as a person I go. Okay, so like what about how you try to so how to get wire from wireframers. Okay, so let's just check out
design over there.
hand design over there.
And he was kind of
And
working on
who's kind of working
this
on
render
this
of this download animation
this download
that'd be
animation
like
that
very
will be like
fun
very
and
fun
physical,
and
and
physical
kind of
and
does that nice
it's
loop.
kind of does
My job was to kind of
and my job was
take
kind
that
of
idea and take that
take that idea
render
and
and
take
figure
that
out how we
render
bring it
and figure out how we
to
bring
life.
it
When
to
you're
life.
working in
We're
traditional
working in
design,
traditional design,
whether that's Figma or
whether it's a Figma
After
or
Effects.
After
It's one thing to
Effects.
make an
So one thing to make an
interaction or
interaction
animation that
or
plays
animation
well in
plays
that, because
well,
you're kind of
that
controlling
because you kind of
all the
controlling
environmental
all
variables.
the environmental
And then it's another thing
variables.
to figure out
And then it's another thing to figure
how you
out
make this
how do you make this
or
interaction
animation
or animation
generalizable and
generalizable
feel great in
and feel great
every
in
instance,
every
right?
instance,
How
right?
close is the
Right, how close is
download
the
link to where
download
it's going
link
to
to
end
where
up,
it's
right?
going to
Is
end
it,
up?
like an inch
No, it's like
away on the
inch
screen, or is it like across
on screen or it's
over
across
here?
or
I think
cover.
probably the
Over here, I
biggest
think probably the
thing
biggest
that I
thing
was trying to explore
that I was trying to
was
explore.
first is
So
how do we
first
decide
is
what
how do we decide
curve
what
this
curve
icon is going
this icon
to
is
take?
going
My
to
first
take.
stab at
My first step is
a prototype.
to building a prototype.
was messing
This was a
around with
messy
Bezier curves.
round with B
Cool
curves,
control points.
cool control points,
Move on with my life.
move on with
You
my
can
life.
kind of do that.
You can kind of do
Then
that.
the next question is,
But the next question is like,
what pace does
what pace
the
does
icon need
the
to
icon
move
need
at
to move at
along that curve?
along that curve?
And this is kind of where the Bezier curves.
This is kind of where the Bezier curves start
down, because
breaking
if you just
down
pick
because if you just pick some
timing
random
curve, it's
timing
not
curve,
gonna feel
it's not going to feel
supernatural, right?
supernatural, right?
Even if you have a timing
Even if you have
curve
timing
that's based
curve that's
on the Bezier
on the Bezier path,
it's not going to feel
it's not going to feel
natural because what you're essentially
because of what you're essentially
trying to animate is physics.
It's a physics.
But you're doing physics.
But you're doing physics.
Motion with not physics curves.
With not physics curves.
So it's always going to kind of.
So always going to
be
kind of be
uncanny.
in that uncanny.
So I built a couple.
So I built a
prototypes.
couple of prototypes. I wasn't super happy with
feeling.
how it was just.
And then I had that realization.
And then I had the realization.
This is actually kind
this is actually
kind of like
a high school
problem,
physics.
Right? Joey is standing.
Right, Joey is standing
on the roof of
his
school. And he throws
a
baseball with an
initial
velocity of
initial velocity of 500,
whatever
per second. Where does it land?
And I was like, oh, this is actually.
I was like, this is actually. Actually, this is like actually it's kind of like an exact problem.
We know where we want.
We know where we want this ball to land, and we know
that we want to inject.
So we want to
some initial
inject some initial y velocity.
So it kind of goes up.
So it kind of goes up.
Lands there. So I called my sister.
So I call my sister.
Who's a math and
teacher. Calculus teacher in Detroit, Michigan.
It's like, hey, what up? You trying to give
what up? You're trying to give me a refresher on quadratic.
And she was so happy.
She was so happy.
I think she used
this example in her class for week after
She's like, yes, absolutely.
She's like, yes,
so
absolutely.
I have.
So we are like,
I'm in my workspace.
I have in my workspace
here, and I have
place here, and I had
every Tuesday I get a bunch.
Every Tuesday I get a bunch of friends together and jam on side project.
That was big whiteboard.
So get this big whiteboard.
It looked like I just wrote.
It looked like I just wrote a bunch of fake maths but I was actually trying to figure out
if we
inject this, if we inject fake maths. Inject so much
velocity going up.
Velocity
we know where it needs
to. We know where it needs
to land.
How do we calculate the velocity?
Long story short.
A long story short.
I actually modeled the physics
for every single frame to figure out where would it fall.
So you have this natural.
So you have this natural gravitational
fall, and that felt incredible.
And that felt incredible.
It made it so.
It was
super flexible.
It was super flexible.
We could change how loopy.
We could change how
was even based on.
Was even based
where you were clicking.
Where you were clicking.
Right, like if you're
right, like if you're clicking
up at the top of the
at the top of the desktop.
We don't want to shoot it.
We don't want to shoot it
outer
all the
space,
way
right?
into outer space, right?
We
want to give you
a
little curve, right? It's going to fall nicely.
The other
thing about
is that means on every.
That way it's about
single frame.
Every single frame.
We're not just saying. Hey, animate on this Bezier.
Animate on this Bezier.
We know the exact position.
We know exact precision,
velocity, and acceleration,
on
every single
frame
that this icon
is
moving. That probably seems unnecessary. And I don't know. Maybe it kind of is, but
maybe it kind of is.
A lot of what I do.
It's a lot of what I do
with my life. Those values,
if we have those values, we can actually drive other animations off those.
If you think about throwing
an object,
right?
An object, right?
When the object is really
close
to the ground, you have this
kind of really
intense shadow.
And
then as the object kind of moves up, the shadow becomes larger, and the opacity goes down. And if we have the velocity, we know when the velocity is zero, and
hits
zero. We can kind of
so we can
tie those things together. Now the shadow is based on the position, and then when it finally hits destination position, we knew that final velocity. And with that final velocity, we could inject that into a spring and create this really juicy, breaking animation where the icon kind of
where like icon can squishes
deforms,
and
right?
deforms.
It covered the design.
It covered the design.
Portions. It covered the artistic
It covered the arts.
portions, and also was like nice to use.
Like nice to
some,
use.
some like basic
calculus
again.
Calculus.
Like as like a
it's
a design engineer now.
Like a design engineer.
So, yeah, I was pretty happy.
Yeah, I was like pretty happy with
I
how I turned
AI
out.
every single.
I use okay, so let's
because I generally build animations
because I generally
that are like
build animation highly interactive.
And this is actually kind of
this is actually kind of
which is you click a link,
which is you click link,
and we kind of
render
this fire and forget
this fire
animation.
and forget
and that's what's needed there.
And that's what needed.
Like it totally makes sense.
Like it totally makes sense.
For a second, I didn't have constraint of
like
interruptibility,
like interruptibility,
reversibility,
and reversibility,
retargeting, all that
and retargeting,
kind of stuff. I could
all that kind of stuff. I could just focus on
making that fire and forget animation feel as good as possible.
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't even think about
it. It actually does have less constraints because there's no way to stop it.
There's no way to stop it.
Yeah, it is going.
Yeah, it starts to continue.
Okay, so let's act like all the.
Okay, let's pack it all like the way
your journey. You studied engineering.
You studied engineering.
You started a couple. Companies. Eventually,
you started a couple companies. You eventually
find yourself
a
full-time role
at Apple.
And maybe we could start the
story. And maybe we could start
there.
So can you set the stage
for what that role
was
like, and then we can dive into
some specific details.
I was an engineer on
I was an engineer
UIKit
on a team called UIKit framework.
So UIKit is
the set of the frameworks
that all apps are pretty much built with. Even a lot of Swift UI.
Even a lot of Swift UI
under the hood. It's like
under the hood.
UIKit. Like when I was there, I actually
I was
really
kind of worked closely with our sister team, which is
a team called
Springboard.
System UI and
System UI called Springboard.
This is the team that.
This is a team that builds
everything on iOS that's not an app. So
it's not an app.
Home screen, lock screen, app switcher, notifications,
as
well as all of the
all the
behind the scenes stuff that
I
really enjoyed.
working with them.
Actually,
so actually, next year I moved over to Light
and started working on the iOS app switcher specifically for.
Specifically for
the iPad. The first project that I was working on.
For the first project
on there was on the iPad pointer.
On the iPad,
the kind of pointer that as you
kind of pointer that
move around, it kind of morphs and
does
all that fancy stuff. I didn't work on the morphing.
I didn't work on the morphing,
but I worked on the other side.
I worked on
other which was like all of the navigation. On iPad. It assumes that you have your fingers on
your fingers,
right? That you swipe up on.
Right, let you swipe up.
You go home between apps and control center
to go to control center and
how is this going to work?
How is this going to work
in a world where you now just have
a pointer?
We still want you to be able to.
We still want you to be able to
interactively go to the switcher or control center or these kinds of things. How's that going to work? So
how's that going to work?
I spent a while. Kind of porting a lot of the touch-based gestures on iPad to work with the pointer. And that's really where I started really heavily involved with interaction, gestures, animation, where the rubber hits the road. You can't fake it.
You can't fake
it, right? If you make something, and for some reason it feels off or feels bad. The experience of using this product just now feels bad. So it was a really high bar.
It was a really high bar
on a team that
is
really world-class, like engineers and interaction designers, right? Just by virtue of having that role. I learned so much being
I particularly
worked a lot. With someone named Shabam on Springboard, who's now part of the design team over there.
I learned so much being I practically
worked a lot with someone named Shabam.
Someone named Shabam. Let me check out who is Shabam. ABAM Apple Design. Oh, let's why Shabam. It's like him? I don't think so. No, it's not. Let's see.
Springboard, who's now part of the design team over there.
Design team.
He had a really large role.
He had a really large role
building the original iPhone 10 fluid switcher, which I consider to be one of the wonders of the world. And for everything he would make, it just
felt incredible.
It felt alive.
It felt alive.